It feels, I know I said I wouldn't talk about it anymore, but it feels good to have it just filled up behind me. What's up, Fin fans? So yesterday in the live stream, which was like a spur of the moment live stream, the dates came out for the open, like the training camp that's open to the media. So if you guys open to the media, open to the public. So if you guys want to know what days it's open to the public, go check out my live stream. I literally say within like the first 5 minutes of the video what dates are open to the public, and I talk about the August 3rd scrimmage live at the stadium at 1 p.m. and then the two games that we practices we do with the Bucks on the 13th and the 14th. Also, I unfortunately talk about that there's a cap at 2,000 fans, so get there early. But that was yesterday, and I told you today I got a special video for you guys. Special video. If you can tell by the title, I'm probably going to have more than just Dolphin fans in here because I'm talking about greatest of all time quarterbacks. Now, this has been a debate that has been going on forever. Who is the greatest quarterback of all time? You know, it didn't really start back in the 60s and the 70s because the NFL was still fairly new. So it's like, who's the greatest of all time? Well, they knew that there was more to come. But now the conversation is really sprucing up with who's the greatest of all time. And of course, there's one guy's name that always gets brought up, and I'm not going to name it, but he wears number 12 and he plays for a team that just pisses me off. But they talk about him, Tom Brady. I'll just say it, Tom Brady. They talk about Tom Brady as him being the greatest of all time, and then some people say, well, Joe Montana, what about Troy Aikman, what about, you know, and then they start rattling off quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Brett Favre, like I said, Troy Aikman, Joe Montana, Steve Young. And of course, they don't really talk about our boy Dan Marino, who I honestly think, my personal opinion, is the greatest of all time. He set the record in his second year in the NFL for single-season touchdowns and passing yards. Dan Marino is the best of all time. I don't care what you say. But I'm gonna contradict what I literally just said. There is no greatest of all time. And this is what I wanted to talk about. How you can't say a greatest of all time without looking at the past. So Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, but he's only been playing for about 14, 15 years. And he's been playing in a decade where football isn't as crazy and as gruesome as it was in the 70s and 80s. You also can't say someone like Otto Graham or someone like Bart Starr isn't the greatest of all time because of the type of offense and the type of decade he played in. There wasn't much passing like there is today. You know what I'm saying? So there really never can be a greatest of all time. Now, I went through the history books, right? And I looked at some rules that have been implemented throughout the years. In 1989 is when they implemented the first rule that a defender can't go after a quarterback's knees unblocked. 1989. Now, I know you guys say, well, what about the Brady rule? I'm going to get to that because right now it literally just says he can't go after his knees unblocked. So don't go shooting at the knees. That's 1989 when that rule was implemented. Before that, quarterbacks were getting their asses completely handed to them. Oh, and I'm not even done. 1990, players who headbutt, spear, or ram are DQ'd. If it's flagrant. So if it's not flagrant, you're fine. But if it's flagrant, you're DQ'd for doing these things. 1991 play is considered dead if a defensive lineman comes off sides past the line of scrimmage. So that means before 1991, if a defensive lineman comes across the line of scrimmage, they're not calling the play dead, which, okay, that's cool with the quarterback because it's a free play. You know, offside's cool, it's a free play, but he's going to get completely destroyed because the defensive lineman's like, screw it. This is going to be a penalty. I'm going to take this dude out. 1993, no It's not considered grounding if the quarterback throws the ball past the line of scrimmage. So before 1993, if the quarterback threw the ball away, it's considered grounding. So the dude had to hold on to it or run for his life. 1993, people. This 1993, 1993, 1995. Tackling quarterback during or after a throw and whipping him to the ground or landing on top of him with all your body is a penalty. 1995. Dan Marino has been playing for 10 years at this point, where it was a penalty if he threw the ball or he's about to, and he gets whipped to the ground, falling on all of his body weight. 1995. 2002 helmet-to-helmet hit on a quarterback. It's considered illegal. 1999, let me go back one, is when replay was implemented. 1999 replay was implemented. 2006, low hits on a quarterback. Now it's not being specific on the knee, just low hits to a quarterback is considered illegal. 2009, the Brady rule is implemented. So essentially in the Brady rule, you can grab or like smack the legs away, but if you're rolling or you get pushed in or anything from the waist, from the leg area, waist below, is considered a penalty. 2009. 2010, wide receivers are protected from blow to the head or neck area. 2010 and 2011, wide receivers are defenseless until they make a move or can defend themselves. In 2011. So now you can't hit a wide receiver to try and jar the ball out until they can catch it and defend themselves or make a move. So if you're saying to me that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, when he's playing in a decade where the wide receivers get 5 yards to not be touched, where the wide receivers will get flagged if they get held, not them, but the defense, where the quarterbacks can't even get touched, and where the wide receivers defensive backs have to give the wide receivers time to catch the ball and defend themselves before you can hit them. If you're going to tell me that that makes Tom Brady the greatest of all time, I disagree. Because Dan Marino, Troy Aikman, John Elway, Bart Starr, Otto Graham, Randall Cunningham, all these quarterbacks, Troy Aikman, all these quarterbacks that were from the 70s to the mid-90s had to deal with their wide receivers getting lit up before they catch the ball. Balls flying in the air. Had to deal with them getting whipped to the ground. Defensive linemen going at their knees. Them getting hit in the head. All of these different things happening to them that made the game harder for the passing in that decade. So again, don't get me wrong. Tom Brady is the greatest of his decade. And that's what we should be saying, because there is no greatest of all time, because the rules change, the game changes, and the way everything plays is changes. Imagine if Dan Marino, or imagine if the Raiders or the Steelers or, the hook and ladder or the immaculate reception had replay that was implemented literally 20 years ago, 1999. The world would be a completely different place. Super Bowl wins would be completely different. Teams wouldn't even be in Super Bowls if the replay was instituted earlier, but they didn't have the technology. So again, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, all of those guys are the greatest of their decade. Dan Marino, greatest of his decade. Bart Starr, Otto Graham, greatest of their decade. So they're gads. Greatest of their decades. I honestly don't think that there's a GOAT. There's not a greatest of all time, because again, Tom Brady is not mobile. He can step up in the pocket and do his things, but he knows when to take a sack, and he knows when, oh my God, I got to take a sack, because you could tell when you hit him enough that he starts to get flustered. You take Tom Brady and you put him in the 1980s, early 1980s or 1970s, and told him to quarterback. Different world, completely different world. So that's the way I feel. I honestly think that there's no greatest of all time. I honestly think that it is more greatest of their decade, greatest of when they played You know what I'm saying? Because the rules are only going to get softer and more quarterbacks are going to come out and just completely demolish records. I'm not going to lie to you. It completely pissed me off when Brett Favre started breaking Dan Marino's records. It pissed me off when Peyton Manning and then fucking Tom Brady beat Dan Marino's records because it's so much easier now. And Brett Favre played for so much longer than Dan Marino to beat his records. So that's what I think. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys honestly think that there's a greatest of all time? Do you honestly think that the rules and the way the game was played in different decades and the way things have evolved and receivers and this and that, any implication on the greatest of all time brand? So again, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know who you think your greatest of all time is. If you're a Bills fan, it's Jim Kelly. If you're a Bucks fan, should be Steve Young. If you're a Patriots fan, it's obviously Tom Brady. Colts fan, Peyton Manning. Dolphin fan, Dan Marino. Cowboys fan, Troy Aikman. Steelers fan. That's a hard one for Steelers fan, and that's where it comes in. Is it Terry Bradshaw or is it Ben Roethlisberger? 2 different decades. You know what I'm saying? So comment below. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day. This one comes from Ryan Gent. And he says to me, "Hey, Dougley, really enjoy listening to your opinion on the Dolphins. Again, just curious, do you think Tankersley will come back stronger from his injury? Also, it appears that last season, Tankersley, slowed down a little bit or had the sophomore slump before he tore his ACL. Was that due to Matt Burke and his defensive scheme, or did Tankersley get too comfortable? Again, love listening and watching your videos. Go Dolphins, Dolphins for life." Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that, dude. Very great question about Tankersley. If you guys noticed that in my video on Wednesday, I talked about quarterbacks when it came to the camp battle, and I had Tankersley behind Rowe. That is just for now. Again, once training camp starts, once we start to see things will change and things will get more fluid. Now, when it comes to Tankersley, do I think that it's his injury? Do I think it was Burke before his injury? I think it's a combination. I think he was a sophomore slump, and I think Burke does not know or did not know how to use players properly. I honestly think Adam Gase did not know how to use players properly. I talk about this constantly, that they would always make players conform to what they wanted to do instead of trying to make the playbook and the plays conform to the strengths of their players. Brian Flores said during minicamp and OTAs that he wants his best guys out there and that he's going to do what's best for them. Essentially, I'm not going to have a wide receiver out there or a corner out there who's great at zone coverage, have him play man. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Or have a 3-4 outside linebacker being a 4-3 defensive end. I'm not talking about Charles Harris because I know some of you guys are like, he didn't play that in college. I'm just saying it has to go around the coaching and it has to do with the coaching. So to answer your question, I honestly think it was Burke, but I honestly think that he had a sophomore slump. I think he bit out, lip it. And then he thought, okay, I got this, and he kind of fell on his face. I think this year he'll bounce back, and I think he'll have a good offseason, and he'll have a good training camp. Hopefully. If not, you don't make the team. But thank you for the comment. So before I get to my little spiel about follow me on Twitter and all that stuff, I made a Discord. And if you guys know what a Discord is, look up DouglieDoWrong and see if you can find it, and if not, I'll have to do it differently. I've been part of a Discord, but I've never made a Discord before, so I made a Discord. It's called DouglieDoWrong. So see if you can find it and join the Discord. We can all chat in there. Essentially, Discord, you can on your phone or your computer. It's just live chatting and stuff. We can talk about Dolphin stuff live, and I also can tell you guys when I'm going live or doing stuff and get your responses in there and even do polls and stuff. So I made a Discord. Again, if it's not up there, any of you guys who are really good at Discords, help me out to set this thing up because I want to set up a Discord because I think it'd be really good. Second thing I want to talk about, Sunday. Do you guys want me to go live Sunday? It won't be for long. It'll be probably from 7 to about 8. Let me know if you guys want me to go live Sunday. I'm going to have the Bit Boys with me. That's the surprise. Sunday, we're going to be recording some Bit Boy stuff, so I'm going to have the Bit Boys with me. We're going to do a live. If you guys are down, I need a ton of you guys to say yes. I'll go live Sunday, and I'll let you guys know in a tweet and in the community if I'm definitely going live Sunday. But as of right now, it's up in the air. So I'm about 50-50 if I'm going live Sunday. So comment below. Let me know if you guys want me to go live Sunday. But other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. Because if you don't follow me on Twitter, how the flip are you going to know if I'm going live? Also, follow me on Instagram. Also, be sure to, if you look through YouTube on your phone, you can see my posts there when I say like, hey, I'm going live, or put up polls like, what do you guys want to talk about and stuff like that. So there's also that community aspect, but be sure to follow me on Twitter, because then I can get your guys' opinions on stuff. And then also you can help me with the Discord. If you guys are available with Discords, I could start saying, go follow the Discord, and then we could do stuff in the Discord. One more time, Discord. Also, check out the Bit Boys. If I do go live on Sunday, the Bit Boys will be there, and you get to talk to them, ask them questions, along with asking me questions. Should be really, really fun. But again, I'm not going to do it unless a lot of you guys will come hang out on Sunday and live stream. So I'll let you guys know. But be sure to go check out the Bit Boys. Got a ton of stuff going on. Mario Maker 2 came out today. We're going to be playing that. That's going to be on the channel next week, so be sure to check that out. Madden 20 is coming out soon. I'm going to pre-order it, get it 3 days ahead. That will be on the channel really soon. Other than that, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if you like this type of topics. Next week, I'm going to be doing running backs camp battle and then tight end camp battle. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you're cool with that. Also lets me know that you like this content and you like the stuff that I'm trying to give you to fill up the time before training camp starts July 21st. But if you're watching this on DolphinsTalk.com, how are you? How is everything? Good. That's great to hear. And if it isn't, I'm sorry. Things will get better. I promise. But be sure to check out DolphinsTalk.com. Great place over there. Ton of Dolphin creators, writers, YouTubers, everything over there. Podcasts. So be sure to go over to DolphinsTalk.com. Check it out. Hit the subscribe button if you're new from Dolphins Talk, or if you're just new in general. When the season comes, I'm going to be doing picks. I'm going to be doing preview of the Dolphin games, post-game, fantasy football, fantasy picks. I got so much planned, so be sure to subscribe. But other than that, I will see you maybe Sunday, but definitely Monday with the running backs video. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.